My channel is sponsored by Factor, which means we will have an ad from them somewhere in the middle of today's video. No one cares what a privileged white girl thinks of Wicked, by the way. You're exactly like Galinda pushing cancer charity on your Instagram because you're so good. We all know what you say about black peoples in private, and you can't handle the mirror Wicked puts on your face. Not to be mean, but so funny. You didn't like what everyone knows is one of the best movies ever, but you're on Instagram here telling people to go watch some cheap horror movie nobody cares about. You don't like Wicked because it's a presentation of forcing white women to look at themselves and how they act towards minorities? Of course you don't care. Your entire country erases the indigenous roots and try to make it the Queensland. These are some of the messages that I've received because I had the audacity to say I didn't like Wicked. In their defense, okay, I don't like musicals. I know I don't like musicals. Something about them, it's just not my thing. But I went and saw it anyway because the social media hype was so positive that I thought this one might be an exception. Didn't work for me for Hamilton, but I thought maybe this time. And then I was 30 minutes into the movie, and every time that they would break into song, I would go, oh my God, why do these people have to sing about everything? And then I had a second thought that was, Alanah, you willingly came to see a musical. It's kind of the point. And I sat through it and it felt very long. Worth noting that I don't think that Wicked is a bad movie. It's not. There are a lot of really great things about it. It is beautiful. The costuming is impeccable. I think the performances are very good. I enjoyed the last 30 minutes a fair amount, and Defying Gravity is a great song, by all accounts. You know what? Let's hold space for it for a moment. Is that what holding space means? I'm still not really sure what it means. Anyway, Wicked fans are being about as insane as the press tour for this movie has been, and today, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm also going to talk about why I'm in complete support of vast majority of the insanity. Okay, so we'll get to it. Hear me out. But first, if you have somehow missed the marketing campaign for the new Wicked movie, I don't believe you. Wow, I can't believe that you would lie to my face like that. We just met, maybe. I barely know you at the very least, and you're just out here lying to my face. That sucks. Some might say that's sort of wicked. I understand if you want to leave this video after that. Just like I sometimes want my body to jump out of my skin when I see the press tour for Wicked. Sort of. If you somehow haven't heard, again, liar. Wicked is a book that is also a musical that is now 2 movies that are based on The Wizard of Oz, which is a musical fantasy film based on a children's book from the year 1900. Wicked, the book, is basically a biography of the Wicked Witch of the West, who was the evil character in The Wizard of Oz. It paints her in a sympathetic light and is really a story about identifying with someone who was ostracized, in no small part for something that is out of their control, such as being born green. It's an extremely relatable story. I think that is no small part in why it is so popular. I think anyone who has been bullied in any capacity can find something to relate to in a story like Wicked. It's also an interesting way, I think, to explore the themes of evil and nature versus nurture, now packaged in a shiny, expensive movie led by Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, who, wow, you know, just, wow. It's a lot. They're very good in the film. I've seen it. They are both good. But these women have gone pretty viral recently for crying multiple times while talking to the press over things that seem very minor. They have spoken about things like sharing light and holding space.
This week, people are taking the lyrics of Defying Gravity and really holding space with that and feeling power in that.
I didn't know that was happening.
Ariana Grande got like 7 tattoos or something. Oh, that's a lot of tattoos. And a lot of crying.
Well, got a little bit of her softness, and she's got
her strength.
A little bit of my strength.
Yeah. Truthfully.
Me.
Not the time, helicopter!
There was also this scandal a little earlier in the year where Cynthia Erivo was deeply upset about someone making a fan edit to make the movie poster look more like the original theatrical poster. This is the movie poster, this is the original theatrical poster, and this is the fan edit, which, like, if you see them side by side, is just designed to look like this one, right? It's just designed to, she moved Ariana's hand up and they moved the thing over her face, and it's just pretty normal fan stuff. But Cynthia called this the wildest, most offensive thing I have seen, equal to that awful AI of us fighting, equal to people posing the question, is your something green? She did address this afterwards. She told Entertainment Tonight, I'm passionate about it, and I know the fans are passionate about it, and I think for me it was just like a human moment of wanting to protect little Elphaba, and it was like a human moment. I probably should have called my friends, but it's fine, which I actually think is not a terrible retraction. You know what? You're allowed to do a human. There have also been some weird pay disparity rumors, like this whole thing online about Rebo apparently owning 1 million, where Grande apparently earned 15 million. Fans are heated about this one, and it's not even true. Not only does the original thread that sparked all this not even show a source, I did actually find it, it's from a website called Stylecaster, but the screenshot also admits that it's rumored. I just feel like media literacy is just really disappearing right before our eyes. Just, if it says rumored, treat it like it's a rumor. Please, I'm begging you. So fans have been rabid, some even ruining screenings of Wicked by singing along to the songs. Which, you know, please don't do this. I get that you're excited if you're a theater kid and you're going to see Wicked and it's a thing that you love and you're really excited to see this movie, but other people also go to theaters. They're public. The other people in attendance probably want to hear the movie and not you singing. It is time to talk about Factor, which is a service that I have been using for 3 years straight now, I think. If you aren't already familiar, Factor is a meal delivery service that provides you with ready-to-eat, stress-free meals with a bunch of different nutrition options. I love this service because I try to focus on eating a certain amount of protein per day. And so when I go through the app and I make my selections from their pretty vast menu of which meals I'm going to eat for a week, I'm always focused on high protein. And thankfully they have a menu for that. And then I get my box once a week, I put them in the fridge, and I heat up meals whenever I feel like I don't have time to cook. Often I'm doing it during a busy workday, back-to-back meetings, and I don't have time to make a meal. I just go to my fridge, grab a Factor meal, heat it up in the microwave, and eat it. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. There are also more than 60 add-ons you can select every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, and beverages to help you stay fueled and feel good all day long. It also just lets you skip the overpriced takeout trap. Factor is much cheaper and it's there, ready to go. 2-minute heat up, wait for it to cool down, eat away. So you save money, it's convenient, you can be very health conscious, and they taste good. That's why I've been using Factor for as long as I have. So if you want to get started on your Factor journey, use the link in my description to get 50% off and free shipping on your first Factor box. Now back to the video. So we have upset and emotional Wicked fans. Ariana and Cynthia have been extremely emotional. And this movie has one of the biggest marketing campaigns of all time. Here are some Wicked wet brushes. Several varieties of Wicked wet brushes. This is Airy X Wicked limited edition capsules, which is, I think, fitness clothing. Wicked Barbie dolls. Wicked nail polish. Wicked water bottles. Wicked posters. Wicked Rice Krispie treats. Wicked Butter Kissed. I don't even know what half of these brands are. I've never heard of Butter Kiss before in my life. Have now. There's the Galinda's on it. They lit up the Arc de Triomphe. Also, I find it really funny that this says in celebration of Wicked. They definitely paid a lot of money for. I don't think that's like a celebratory, we love Wicked. I think that's a, like, Wicked gave them millions of dollars for that particular one. In total, Wicked actually had 400 brand marketing campaigns. Marketing combined with my least favorite sort of new strategy of just throwing influencers and fan media at the thing. Many of you watching here will know me mostly for video games, and let me tell you this. If you think that game reviews are corrupt, the film industry is so much worse. You invite a bunch of influencers to a red carpet, they've had to spend weeks thinking about this event, they're thinking about what they're going to wear, they're going to get their hair and makeup done, they go and schmooze with a bunch of celebrities, there are photo ops, they are there excited to take a photo to show people that they went to the premiere of this movie. Like the movie or not, they are just so excited to share that they were there. They are excited to be there. That's going to tend to lead to people having a much more positive reception to the thing. And they do all these influencer events before the movie comes out. So we're seeing all of these people posting everywhere about how it's the best thing they've ever seen. We're seeing all of this really specific fan media, like theater kids, doing interviews. We're seeing clips of those interviews everywhere before any critic reviews come out. And you get told, it's the best film of all time. And so you go see it, even though you don't like musicals. And you're disappointed when you still don't like it, and it's almost 3 hours long. But basically my point is very persuasive marketing. It worked on me. I went to see a movie. I thought that it might be the thing that made me finally like a musical, and it didn't. I had been tricked by marketing. So as for critic reviews, it has a 73 on Metacritic, so not quite as positive. I would say I agree with a lot of the middling reviews that I've read after having seen the movie. I didn't actually read any of the reviews before I went, and I did it afterwards. But of course, many of the middling reviews are being absolutely flamed by the fans. Also, I'm just going to throw this particular clip in here because I think it's really funny. She's like a MAGA TV personality complaining that Wicked is woke.
I should have known they'd try to make it woke in the ways that they could think of. Let's just start with the fact that they have Ariana Grande, who is obviously a Hispanic woman, playing the part of a ditzy, blonde, white, really villain when it comes right down to it.
Ariana Grande is white. She's Italian. Her last name is actually supposed to be pronounced Grandi. Great job there. Now, this is the part where I defend a lot of this, okay? So many people talking about how cringy they find this and how much they hate this marketing campaign and the fandom and how crazy musical theater kids are, and I understand. I also need to say I'm not defending the harassment parts, okay? I'm not defending the person that I showed earlier who called me a racist because I don't like musicals. The people screaming at reviewers because the film got a score they didn't like. Again, someone who comes from video games, very familiar, not okay. Is harassment, criticism and harassment are not the same thing. I'm so sure I will have Wicked fans in the comments make comments about that because it happens in video games all the time too. Where they'll be like, but actually, it's criticism, not harassment. If you give an opinion online, you should Yeah, again, two different things. People are criticizing the things and that's fine. Harassment, hate speech, separate things. Just even if you're giving criticism, it doesn't mean other people aren't harassing them, okay? I'm going to start with Ariana and Cynthia. Again, as somebody who didn't like this movie and has no opinion on either of these two people in any real capacity. I think all of these press junkets feel very, very weird to us, the public, because the journey that we're having and the journey that they're having are totally at odds. We're seeing these two people be extremely emotional at what for us is the start of the journey. It's not like we just watched an hour or two documentary where these people talk about how Wicked was extremely important to them and they've loved this thing since they was a kid and then they finally got to make the thing and they're so excited for it to finally be out in the world after 3 years making it. We're just seeing like two women crying because we're about to see a movie, you know? We are at the opposite ends of this journey that they've been on. So for us, it's like, the fuck are you crying about? I've seen people say that it seems like they're acting like they went through hell to make this film, and it totally does seem that way, even though I get the impression that it's not why they're actually emotional. It's just that they're extremely passionate about it. Just really into Wicked, which I think applies to fan reaction to this whole thing as well. A lot of it is really cringy, but honestly, having a genuine, passionate reaction to something is often perceived as cringe. You remember the guy who went viral for crying over Star Wars and some girl called him undateable? In my opinion, having a strong positive emotional reaction to something that you like is a beautiful thing for a human being to get to experience. And also, just what a tremendous privilege. You can find it unrelatable or creepy like I do, but I will not be in the camp of people who acts like someone is uncool because they like something. I feel this way about Spotify Wrapped. You'll always see curmudgeons every year be like, I don't care about your Spotify Wrapped, don't share it, nobody gives a shit. I care. Share the stuff you like. Share it, go ahead. Be enthusiastic about whatever your most listened to song was of the year and share that. It doesn't matter if other people don't like seeing it. That's their problem. They can jog off. That's not to say you can't criticize the film itself. I did that. You can. You don't have to chase down people who like it and tell them that they suck. Right? We can also, obviously, talk about holding space for the lyrics of Defying Gravity. We can make memes about their reactions. I don't think there's anything wrong with the memes or the jokes or people talking about it. That's fine. I'm basically just saying, I get why these people are acting this way. It makes sense to me because it's the same way that I feel about some things that I'm passionate about. And I would actually prefer cringy press tours where women are crying than people giving really boring cookie cutter answers because they're in movies that they clearly don't give a shit about, which is vast majority of them. And I guess it depends on the topic a little, obviously, but I don't think there's much that's cooler than watching someone who is extremely passionate about a topic talk about said topic. I think people are at their most attractive when they are talking about things that they love. If you watch someone like light up because they're talking about something that you really like, it's like you're getting a glimpse of their soul, you know? And theater kids are just all about that. Which again, something that I don't get at all personally. But I recognize that the way that I feel about video games is probably really weird to a lot of people. Somebody mentioned Obra Dinn the other day. They just said Obra Dinn, and I was covered in goosebumps. To most people who don't play video games, that sounds insane. A friend of mine, I was at his house the other night, and he told me that he didn't finish Tunic because he got stuck on a particular boss fight. So I made him start the game, and I finished the boss fight for him, and I would not have put that down until I finished that boss fight, which I did in like 4 tries, even though he was stuck for months. But that was because I was so passionate about not wanting him to stop playing that game. I really wanted him to get through it so that he could see the parts of that game that I feel really passionate about and that I love. Like, I think that would be insane to a lot of people. It's not tremendously different to somebody crying about Wicked. I've cried over video games before. I got memed on once for crying over Beyond Good and Evil at E3. I was so sure it wasn't coming back, and then it came back, and I cried, and now it doesn't exist again. Ubisoft. But someone crying about Wicked and me crying about video games is just like, it's just a different version of the same feeling that we all share for something in our lives. And again, I know it's cringy. I recognize and feel that same way about it. I'm seeing some of the reaction to this being like classic Hollywood. They have to make everything insane. And it's actually, in my opinion, the opposite is what we're seeing here. And that's why it's weird. We are so used to seeing people who are so rehearsed and so calculated and so bored in all of these press interviews that it's almost the opposite. These are 2 people who are being very, very, very vulnerable about a thing they're clearly actually passionate about that they didn't just do for money. And I think this is the better option. I think this is the better option. You know what I mean? I asked theater kids what it is about musicals that makes them so extra, because I feel like theater kids are like an extra level of extra. They're extra. And the general response is that the characters and the plot combined with the music, like you have the story, but then you get the explosion of emotion through a musical performance and dancing, just really tugs at people's heartstrings. It just boils people's emotions over. The songs just have like an impact on their hearts. I can obviously share that doesn't resonate with me and I don't get it, but I will defend your cringy passion until the end of time. It is so much better to have someone else go, ugh, you're so passionate, that's so weird, than for you to be boring and self-conscious about something that you love. But also some of you really do need to just calm down a little. You're not all off the hook. Some of you, please chill the fuck out.